with Ori, show it loud, get it loud, turn it up, feel the sound, let's get proud. Step to the rhythm, heart beating wild, sound fire, hypnotizing style. Drums drumming deep, trumpet soars high, aggressive moves, we reach for the sky. Coffee with Ori, it's a vibe, can't lie. Catchy beat bumping, let's dance, you and I. Bollywood twist in the night, we unite. Singing strong, shining through the night.
Welcome, everyone. As you know, it is your Thursday Coffee with Ori. And the question tonight is, being awoke, is it a good thing? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Let's dive in to the topic. But before we do, he's got a card. And these cards were made by him, interpreted by him.
Yes.
So let's be ready. Get your pencils and paper. Let's go.
The card that I chose today, well, hello everyone, and happy Thursday. It is, the 30th today? Tomorrow is the 1st. I want to welcome you to this segment, which is about being awake. The good aspect of being awake and the bad aspect and the meanings behind it. The card that I chose today is called New Beginnings. And the reason that I chose this card is because of the abstract that we have in our lives, the good, the bad, the dark sides that we go through in life. And eventually, while we're going through dark, we always see a spark of light that eventually, through this light, creates the stability that is this down here. Okay. Now, the reason this card is so important is that the beginning of May is the beginning of many great things. Like the first rain of May should be collected so that you can create a spiritual bath with the first rain of May. Add herbs and take a bath with that. That opens up a lot of great energy and great portals. Also for abundance, the first rain of May, if you put it in a little cup and you add cinnamon and you add cloves and you add sugar and a little bit of salt and you keep it on your altar, you keep it by the entrance of your door, it allows money to flow frequently. So the month of May is a feminine month because not only is it Mother's Day, but if you look at statistics, there are a lot of babies born in May. And a lot of females were born in May. So there's a lot of energy transmitted through the month of May. Now, the topic that we're going to hit today is a topic that people use constantly, which is about being awakened or I'm awake. But a lot of people they say it, but they don't really know what the hell they're talking about in reality. As a minority, I talk about it in the aspects of how we grew up. And if you grew up in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, you understand what I mean by being awake. Now, I write notes because it's the only way that I feel that I can give you better coverage without going on tangents. So I wrote this the other day, which is being awake. Awake doesn't mean that you are just awake, that you were asleep. It means that somehow the ability that you were born with or the ability that you have had when you were incarnated into this body, into this being, has broken through the Matrix. For years, people who grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and I know you remember this, Dr. D. On Saturdays, right? On Saturdays, do you remember the horn used to go off at 12 o'clock? Like the alarm. You don't remember that? Well, in the cities, but you weren't in the city, right? For a long time, right? Well, in the cities, right? Every Saturday at 12 o'clock, the alarm would ring. That alarm, like bomb shelter alarm, that alarm would ring. And it kind of like stopped everybody in its tracks. When people were walking, when people were home, yeah, you would stop because it started you for a minute. But I believe that that wasn't not just designed for bombs or war. I think that was designed somehow to snap people into reality every week. And then the church bells rang every Sunday, right? Which was another form of waking people up. And then all of a sudden they stopped. The buildings where sheltered people were knocked down. Schools that sheltered people were knocked down. Places where people can run just in case, they shut down. So what the government did to, I guess, keep us flowing the right way, stopped. Because then they put us in a box. Okay? And that box, not to be mean, kind of made us stupid. And it didn't allow us to think for ourselves. Because then they say that we're not in a prison, but think about it. They tell us when to eat. They tell us what to eat. They tell us how to eat it. They tell us what's good for us. They tell us where we should go and work out, what we should do to stay healthy, where we should go to sleep, what kind of mattresses we have, what kind of bath we should take. So they're constantly letting us know what they feel that is right for us. And we've been so indoctrinated that we actually follow it. We actually listen to it. But then what happens? People like us that are born in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, we kind of go back. We revert back. Okay? We revert back. And we remember when life was easier, when life wasn't so complicated, when we didn't have all these things, when our minds were always so sharp and we were always willing to do all these great things. And we wanted to learn and we wanted to paint and we wanted to write and we wanted to, and then all of a sudden everything died down. So our brain cells die down because we allow it. But our pineal gland has been being shut down by the foods that we eat, by the chemicals that we put in it, by the clothes that we use, because even fabric have chemicals. And it just dumbs us down, okay? Now, one thing that we have to understand is that the concept that we are spiritual beings having a human experience is true. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. Some people think that, oh, we're spiritual beings. No. I mean, we are spiritual beings, but we're actually human beings we're not having a spiritual experience. We're spirituals having a human experience. And it's sometimes it gets confusing, but the reality is that to continue part of the work experience has a lot to do with it. The outcome that we look at and how we look at things in society, this human society, is different. When you are awakened, you see the spiritual society. In other words, you see the trees, right? You enjoy the trees. When we're growing up, we go to apple orchards, right? We go to apple orchards. Oh, we're going to go pick apples. It's fun. We're going to go pick up apples. That's great. But we don't see beyond the apples. We don't see beyond picking the apples. We go pick grapes. We go pick strawberry. We go pumpkin to the pumpkin patch. We only see that because it's given to us momentarily and it's only through seasons. Okay? You don't really have that anymore. You don't have children experiencing going through pumpkin patches and apple orchards. You don't have that anymore. People may say, well, I really don't understand. When you lived in New York, you lived in New Jersey, you went to these places. So I don't understand why a lot of people say, well, I've never been. I'm saddened that people haven't gone to that experience. But like I said, being awake, you can see, you can go to the ocean and appreciate the water. You can see things that you never saw. You don't just see the water, you see the waves. You can hear the vibration in the water. You can feel the energy. You can feel the pulse of the energy if you're close enough to the water. You go to the river, you can hear the river, but you can also see through the river, you can see the fish. You can see the joy of everything living. You stand by a tree and you talk to the tree, and all of a sudden you see the leaves moving, and you don't even realize when you're not awakened that the trees are not responding. But when you're awake, you see that they are responding. Everything responds. You cook, and people like your cooking, and they say, oh, you cook good. But then sometimes you cook and people are like, oh my God, this food is amazing. Why? Because when you are awakened and you put your love in what you do, it tastes so much better than when you just cook to cook. That's an experience about being awake. Being awakened causes a lot of goodness in us. It opens us up to connect to our spiritual ancestors. It allows us to open that door that we had opened as children, where we heard voices, where we saw things, where we were told, don't be dumb, you're crazy, you don't see anything. They put that ignorance because society embedded that ignorance into our parents or into people that kept reminding us, like teachers, well, you don't hear anything. If you do, you're crazy. So therefore, they found that we all needed psychiatrists or we needed therapists. To this day, when people feel that you are too awakened and they tell you to go see a psychiatrist, what do? What does psychiatrists do? Which is something I don't understand. When people say you need therapy, don't seek a psychiatrist, seek a therapist. But people tend to seek for a psychiatrist. I know, I've been there. And the first thing that they do is they start giving you pills. And they start numbing you down and pushing you down. One pill becomes two pills. Those pills become 3, then 4, then 5 to control the first 2. I know, because I was on 11 of them years ago, until I woke up finally and Spirit said, enough. That's it. I woke up one morning and I stopped taking all of them, just in one shot. And you know what? It was the best decision that I made, to understand that Spirit is in control. God is in control, but Spirit is in control, and Spirit knows what it's telling me to do and guiding me. So I don't really go against what I believe in, and a lot of people shouldn't. A lot of people live life doubting. And I know you deal with this, Dr. D. I'm sure you've had people come call you and talk to you, and they're like, oh, and then you just interact and say, well, I think that you were supposed to do that. And they're like, well, that's what I thought, because I heard it, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? They didn't pay attention to it. Spirit will talk to you. And when they talk to you, why do you doubt it? People doubt so much. You know what I'm saying? They think that because they don't hear another voice, it's not Spirit. But the rudest awakening of life is that Spirit does not talk to you in another voice until you're comfortable with the voice that you understand, which is yours. So Spirit will always talk to you in your voice, because it's the only voice that you're not afraid of and the only voice that's comfortable for you. When you become comfortable and you start thanking Spirit every time you're seeing a movie and something, and you don't know what's going to happen, and Spirit said, this person's going to get shot, and then they get shot, you say, thank you, Spirit, for that. You acknowledge Spirit. Or if you're going into traffic and Spirit is like, go this way, there's an accident, you go that way, and you find out later that there was an accident. You thank Spirit. You thank them all the time, and Spirit will start talking to you in the voices that their voice, so that you can get a better understanding of what it is that you're listening to. But Spirit will never, ever, ever talk to you in their voice in the beginning in your head, it's always going to be your voice in the beginning. And that is the only voice that you hear because it's the only voice that does not scare you. So that is a great deal of being awake. These are the good things. I'm just going to put it that way. These are the good things about being awakened. Um, some people are granted gifts. I say granted. Let's just put it that way because it's the easiest way to say it. But I don't believe that it's granted. I believe that these are the gifts that we were born with. Some people they open up and are given the gift of prophecy, the gift of healing, the gift of mediumship, the gift of channeling, the gift of being an intuitive, which are all wonderful gifts. But it's how you work with it. I find that people who use their gifts negatively don't really understand what was given to them. Although we live in a society which is a take society, they want to take everything and they pull everything from you, and the rich want to bring down the poor. The bigger ones want to bully the shorter ones. I believe that with things that we go through, and we all go through things because I've had my challenges and I've learned, I did stupid things when I was younger, but the reality of everything is gifts that were given to you are there to be appreciated. I was given the gift of prophecy when I was a little kid. I was given the gift of being a channeler and being a medium, being able to channel spirits and listen to them and see them. And yes, it scared the shit out of me when I was growing up, but it was a gift. I didn't understand it. A gift that was with my mom and a gift that was with a lot of other people in my family. Then, as they've gotten older, they became born again Christians because they believe that what it is that they're living through is not good and those things are not good. And it's easier for them to say that the Holy Spirit is the one possessing them, or the Holy Spirit came to them, rather than to say, the voice of my ancestors told me to do this, or Spirit told me to do this. They rather say the angels guided me to do this, or the Spirit, the Holy Spirit told me to do that, or this came to me in a dream, and I know that it was God. I'm not saying that it's not, because everything that we deal with is through the power of God. But we need to understand that we are spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, we connect to frequencies that are in this planet, in this realm, but we also connect to realms that are not this one. We connect to other dimensions on a regular basis. And people who are spiritual can connect to different dimensions. Those are the wonderful things. Now, I'm going to tell you about people from my experiences dealing with people, dealing with clients, from the age of maybe 15, that I've seen, and even people in the street, hanging out in the street, friends in school, things. One of the things about being awake and walking around awake, people will deem you crazy. People will talk about you. People will make fun of you. People will try to belittle you. People will always gravitate to you because of your light. But then when they get to know you, they're so intrigued by your light and by how you walk that they want to become you. They'll say that you're envious of them, but it's not so. I know for a fact that from experience, you can never dim anyone's light. When people are born with light, you cannot dim them. And yes, there are people that are born with light and great light, but there are also people that are born with darkness. I'm not going to say that they're evil, and I'm not going to say that they're bad, but I will say that there are people who are born with darkness, and they never corrected it. So then when they grow up, they become conniving, and they become just horrible, mean spirited people. I think that I've said this many times before, and I keep repeating it. We are born, but we also know what we're being born into. We know that coming into this universe, we are born who we are meant to be. We choose the life we want in this world. We know that we're going to struggle. We know we're going to suffer. And we choose to come here because instead of living in the guff and being spirits in the guff, we choose to become human. So we choose the destiny that is given. So we know, and we don't understand that some people live life and never go through any pain and sorrow and never suffer. But there are people who live in this life that suffer. From the day they're born, they suffer. And they go through so many things and they don't understand and they question. I know that my childhood was not the greatest. It wasn't the baddest, but it wasn't the greatest. I know that I battled demons my whole life. And I know that as a human being, a lot of things were difficult. Going to the church and asking a million questions and constantly being put down. And, these things are hurtful, but also abuse plays a role. But abuse, if you're strong willed and you overcome abuse, there's no reason to be mean spirited because some people are mean spirited. A lot of smart people, very, very smart people, are very mean spirited people. And that's because there's an emptiness in them. No matter how full their life may seem, like they have this and they have that, and they may have the prettiest girls, and they may have the prettiest boyfriend, and they may have the cushiest job, and they may have all this money. But if you're empty inside, you have nothing. Me personally, I've never been an envious person. I've never been a jealous person. I've never been a hypocrite. I've never been any of those things until people are that way with me. The downfall of being awakened with me has been that as an intuitive and as a spiritual being, I have the ability to see people for what they are. So when you say to me that I'm mean and I'm rude when I first meet you or while you know me, if you really know me, telling you the truth about who you are should not deem me as being mean, right? It should not deem me as being mean or being rude. Do you feel that, Dr. D?
No, it's not being rude, it's setting boundaries, and people got to respect your boundaries, and that
No,
is
but when people first meet us, right? Us, I say us because we've gone through it. When people first meet us and they're like, "Well, I don't like them because they have an attitude," or this, or we say something to them, "Well, why are they so rude?" I don't think it's rude when you tell them the truth.
short
You
to
know what
the
I'm saying? Yeah,
But
it's short to
it's
the point.
short to the point. And the thing is that as you get older, or as they say, wiser, you don't have time for the fluff and I guess I'm going to just call it fluff. You're like, let's get to the point. Let me tell you what's going on. This is what it is. It's your choice to either receive it or not to receive it. And the thing is how you carry yourself. A lot of people are always the thing. They're always searching for a guru outside themselves instead of them acknowledging the power within themselves that they have. So when they go out and they search someone, and they might put you in on the pedestal and the box, and then all of a sudden they got you on this pedestal and the box, but then they see maybe a flaw. So then it becomes judgmental. Well, I could do this, or I could be better, or I could do that or that. So that's what it becomes, and it becomes a power. So then that envy, that intrigue, that putting you on a pedestal, it becomes anger, it becomes hatred, it becomes jealousy, it becomes backstabbing, it becomes a whole different kind of monster that they're not prepared to deal with in their life. And they try to portray like, I'm helping you. I really am, in a back kind of way. Like, I was saying this, or they'll say something and pretend they're giving you a compliment, but in the back, they know you
Well,
didn't
well, if you
feel.
notice, People play. Sorry to cut you off. People play, right? They'll say, "Oh, you made this for me. Oh, that looks so nasty. I'm only playing." They're not playing. They're being rude. They're being obnoxious, because you find that a lot. And I agree with you. As a reader, I find that people link themselves to me, and yes, I charge for my time because it's my energy, and you need an equal energy exchange. You can't just do things. And even the scripture says you got to pay for your time. You got to get paid for your time. But I think that people take that to a different level. I think people come to us for us to help them, and then they think that we become their psychiatrist, that we become, like you said, their guru, but that we have no flaws. Shit, I'm human. I got many freaking flaws. You know what I'm saying? I was a child. I made mistakes. I did this. I did that. I had lustful ways. I had all these kind of ways. But when I tell you, do as I say, not as I do. You understand? But no, people want you to give them more of you than you are willing to do it. When you give someone a service and you say, you have access to me, this is how much you need to give me monthly, but you have access to me. If you don't take advantage of that access and you don't call me for the whole month, you still have to pay me if you made a contract with me. But if you call me every day, please ask me questions that I can resolve, but don't keep me on the phone for hours thinking that I'm your personal psychiatrist, because you know damn well that you're not paying your psychiatrist what you paid me. You pay your psychiatrist a lot more and by the hour. You understand? People become obnoxious when you point out their defaults. When you point out where they're falling short, doesn't mean that we're judging them, because I don't find myself as a judgmental person. I find myself as a person that I try to look within them and I try to see the flaw and say, maybe if you think of life this way, maybe this will help you out in a different way. Maybe if you analyze what you're going through within yourself and you're strong enough, then you can look at it in a different way and say, well, instead of being angry at myself, I'm going to look at things in a different way. But I don't think people do that. I think that when I approach someone and you know that I don't like you. You talking to me?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
No. I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
You're talking to me. I know. I heard. I saw your lips say Corey. Yeah. But listen, and I'm not going to bring up certain things, but there's been people that I did not like, people that I didn't feel comfortable with, that I initiated in this religion, that I did not feel comfortable with, and I should have listened to my spirit, but I listened more to other people. Maybe you need to look at it differently. Maybe you got to understand that your mission was to help them and grow. But you know what? At the end, what did it get me? It got me nothing but misery and sadness and betrayal and hypocrisy. Now, at this moment, whatever, and I said it last week, whatever chains I broke, whatever people I released out of my life, whatever people have walked away from my life, stay away. You don't have to come back. Be gone. Stay gone. Because if you couldn't be that I needed a friend, I don't need you now, because I can do this. I've always had the power to do it, and I always have done it by myself. I've always done it by myself. Yes, you have people. You help people to give you instructions. They may want to guide you. They may want to. What happened?
I said we come in this world by ourselves. Can you hear me? I said we come in this realm, this world by ourselves. And that's what people fail to forget. You don't need an attachment like everybody's, not trying to be disrespectful, searching for a soulmate and thinking their soulmate or their the other one, twin flame or twin heart, that's going to complete them. That's a big responsibility to put on someone. I'm just saying. If you don't
No, it
complete,
is. It is.
if you don't complete yourself, then honey, sit down somewhere and meditate and figure it out and put yourself together. Don't be putting out signals that you're ready, and then when it comes, it's like, okay, why did I meet this low caliber vibrational person? Because that's where you at, love, right now. Or you breathing so high, because let me rephrase that, because that can be taken another way. You can have a light so bright, but even this is what a spiritual teacher told me. When your light is so bright, you'll even attract the dark and the low elements as well.
Of
So
course.
you have to remember who you are, what you are, and where you go. So if you are saying you go to church, you're a Bible thumper, you're a holy roller, you are Islam, mosque seeking, Judy, synagogue, whatever you do, right? Because I don't knock anybody what you do. Never knock anybody. If you go to all of those and you're in there faithfully, like you think, don't let the rabbi, the minister, the deacon, the bishop, deaconess, and everybody interpret the book that you're reading, because the interpretation has changed many times in many hands through many languages. Seek for yourself, and when you pray, pray and ask to see what you need to see, to open your eyes and see what you see, and put the right people in your path to be able to come and work with you. And the people that don't, let them fall at the wayside or let them go. And there was a girl, her name is Tony Joe. I'm bougie about my energy. I don't have time to be working on budgeting my energy with low vibrational people, or people that don't love themselves, because them love of not loving themselves. If you can't love yourself, how you going to be able to be in my world where I am love, and I'm saying I am love. So if I am love and that's my energy, why would I want to be in that energy of non-love? It's just a
You know,
thought. I'm putting it out there.
no. I agree with you. But you know what I was saying, that some of the smartest people are the most mean-spirited people. They're so smart, they think they know everything, and they're so mean-spirited. You know what I'm saying? Because they're empty. There's something wrong in their own hearts, in their own souls, that even if they do the work and they repair themselves, they get the information, but it's information. Do you understand? It's knowledge, but they take the knowledge, and then when they see a flaw in someone that is within themselves, they start pointing it out. Well, I think that you're a messed up person because you're going through it. Bitch, you going through the same shit. So now you're pointing a finger at me when I've been working on myself. So you see the differences. It's like people that are like what I said to. Let me backtrack a little bit. When I said that, there are people born with light, but there are also people born in darkness. There are people born in darkness, and I just believe that through the incarnation, if you don't do it right in this lifetime, you will come back a next lifetime until you get it right. And most young souls that are ignorant, who are mean-spirited, who are angry, who are bitter, who are self-destructive with themselves and others, are young spirits that have incarnated in this lifetime young. They didn't finish their work in their lifetime. They came into this, or they attached themselves somehow spiritually to certain people, but then they mess up and eventually they die and they have to come back to do it again until they get it right. But when you said, yes, I've always known that light attracts darkness, because us, that we are spiritual and we have been enlightened for many years, we have not been without our share of getting mad at people and saying, you're doing this shit to me, I'm going to light a reversal candle on you. I'm going to reverse it, which is really not good either. But we've done it. We're not angels at the end of the day, but we also learn behind it, what happens behind it, and what is the effects. Now, what I can say is, when it comes to this topic, which is not the topic we're talking about, but when it comes to this topic, the devil, or the devil, the way the devil wins is this. I want to share this with you. The way the devil wins is, the devil doesn't know your future. You know that, right? The devil doesn't know your future. Only God knows your future. The universe knows your future. The devil doesn't know your future, because the devil can't tell the future, but the devil knows your past. So the devil keeps bringing up your past into the present. So you're constantly reverting backwards, thinking about the bad things you did and thinking about this. And you always, and people that are in religions, they're fanatics. And they're like, oh, this person is hurting me. They're not hurting you. You didn't grow your mind strong enough to realize that no one has the ability to make you happy, and no one has the ability to make you sad. No one has the ability to make you miserable. Only you do. And like you said, it is a really freaking horrible, horrible pressure that you put on your partners when you tell them, you're my soulmate. This is what God intended. Well, first of all, if you ain't religious worth of shit and all you're doing is crazy shit out in the street, how are you going to talk to me about what God intended for us? That don't make no sense. Okay? It's like the blind leading the blind. But then you have, again, men who get married to good women who then expect women to be their doormats. Cook for me, clean for me, do this for me, lay with me, do this for me, party with me, hang out with me. They expect you to stop your life to live their life. And then when the woman starts pushing away and saying, I can't do this, then all of a sudden, well, I don't feel loved. I'm going to go find myself another woman. I don't feel loved. I did this because you didn't give me enough time. Well, MF, I didn't know that I signed up to be your mother. I signed up to be your partner. But also, men go through the same thing with women, where women have this daddy complex. You know what I'm saying? Or when they live their lives with the idea, because catch this, I found that in my dealings with clients, that they're people that have been abused, that have been whatever, sexually abused, emotionally abused, physically abused, that when they meet a partner or they meet someone, automatically they have sex with them because they believe that, I fell in love with them. No, you didn't fall in love with them. You fell in lust. They fell in lust, but they believe in their minds that sex is going to make them feel better. It doesn't make you feel better. It just messes up the whole dynamic of what you're going through. That's all it does. So now where time is going, so I'm gonna finish talking about being awakened. Now, the bad thing about being awakened, because there is a bad thing, is what I've experienced, what you've experienced, what other people have experienced, many people have experienced. When you are on the path of light and you are awakened, your body can't handle the energy. We can. Our minds can, but our bodies can't. When I had my open heart surgery, I was fine. I went into the hospital for a cough. Quadruple bypass later, I'm still thinking like, what the F? But at the end of the day, your body that we're emanating at this moment, we are emanating at such a high rate. Our energy, our spirit is vibrating so high to connect to the original vibration that we were born with. The vibration where we can walk through walls, that we can see through walls, that we can glide. Our spirits are trying to bring us back to that. in a human form. So our bodies are breaking down. So it's an everyday struggle, at least for me, to try to connect my brain, my mind, my spiritual being, my psyche to my body, sending vibrations of healing to heal this vessel. Because what'll happen is exactly what Tesla's theories were not just scientific, they were also spiritual. The mind and the spirit can become, the vibration can become so advanced that you disappear. Your soul just comes out of your body and disappears. And it
The
goes,
Mayans did that.
I'm sorry?
The Mayans, no, or is the Aztecs?
But
That's
even
like
the Buddhists, how many Buddhists don't, when they're older, they go to the top of the temple in Tibet and they sit there without eating, with nothing, and they just sit there until they die because they allow their spirit to be taken. So there is a great insight on being awakened if you use the energy right, if you acknowledge the energy, and you don't waste it on bullshit by cursing people, talking shit about people, doing things, and going against spirit, thinking that you are more powerful than the spirit, because you are not. Because your ancestors have been here before you. They crossed over. They're here to guide you. Listen to them. Don't try to challenge them, because you're going to end up losing that battle. You know, the demigods that, yes, have existed, because demigods have existed. And you can't go against the queen of the ocean or the queen of the river, or the fathers of the jungles. You can't go against them thinking that every living thing is going to appease you without repercussion if you do something wrong. You're going to have a repercussion. When you think that you're walking around and you're a god, we should feel like we're gods within ourselves, not gods among people. When you start feeling that you're a god among people, you lose the battle. Because at the end of the day, there are no gods among people. There's only the creator, the universe, spirits, angels, guides, and ourselves we are gods within ourselves, with the ability to heal and the ability to heal others with kindness and what you said earlier, love. You are love. I am love. I try to be, even though I try to talk to people sometimes, even my own godchildren, they're like, well, why are you so nasty? Or why do you? Sometimes you say things, but you don't mean, you don't. I don't think that I'm nasty all the time. I just say things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm on the phone, or maybe I'm typing something, and you call me and you tell me something, and I respond in a way, but it has nothing to do with you, because I don't feel that. I don't, like, in my mind, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to 3 other people. So I think that people misunderstand. And I think that they see in me something that they see in themselves. The rudeness that
Yeah, we all do. Each person that we meet is an aspect of ourselves in
well,
some shape or form.
listen, when I go to the doctor's office, right? When I go to the foot doctor's office, the lady, the lady that takes care of me, she's older. Well, she's not older. I think I'm older than her, because I'm about to be 60 in July. So she's like around 50 something, right? When I first started going there to the wound care, she used to have a really nasty attitude. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were there. And then one day I was sitting in the chair closer to the reception area, and I just saw her face, and Spirit showed me, the pain she was going through. And I got up and I talked to her. I said, listen, it's in my spirit. God wants me to tell you that whatever it is that you're going through, it's only temporary and things are going to get better. And from that day on, she became such a pleasant woman. You understand? And we see each other every week, and I go and I bring her things, and she's always there. She's always so polite, and she's like, you just changed my life. That makes me feel good. But then again, like I said, you said, not me, people expect us to not have flaws.
Perfect.
And I've been around a lot of times. I had a lot of clients. I've had a lot of spiritual people. I've helped many people in the world, which it was my pleasure and my honor to help them. But I've also had many people betray me that I love very much. And those pains, I've learned that I can't carry that. There are reasons for season. That was a season for them. So I needed to let them go. And once I let go, just like you, the one thing about me is once I let go, I don't ever think about you anymore. I don't think about you. I don't talk about you. I don't mention you. I don't ask about you because I don't care enough. You have to care to mention someone's name. I don't mention them because I don't care. So there are different ways. All I know is that we are on similar paths. You're more on a homeopathic and more on a naturalist. Is that the word? Naturalist?
Natural.
Not a naturalist.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's a word. It's a
A
natural.
vegan,
I'm
naturalist.
not vegan. I mean, I just love.
I know you're not vegan, but you cook vegan. You
Yeah, I love cooking
show
vegan.
people because you were vegan.
I was
So
raw vegan for a long time. Both.
yeah, no, and I was a vegan too when I was a Buddhist. Remember years ago, I was a vegan and I enjoyed that. But what I'm saying is, we are on a path similar. You and I are on a parallel path, but there are people out there that they lynch onto us. They lynch onto us, and our stories become their stories.
I get you. Everybody wants a something for something. But you were saying about bad. And sometimes, let me explain about the bad of being awoke. Being awoke, certain people have expectations. That's the bad part of, I'll give you an example. Everybody kind of knows that my daughter transitioned in 2015, and I was still doing my shoot, and I was known as the food alchemist. And someone expected me to just jump right back into everything I did and didn't realize, look, even though I'm spiritual and I understand she is transitioned, I am still human. And that point is she chose me, the vessel to come through. And she's been with me for so many years in a close relationship. So to suddenly lose that connection, it's going to take a while to digest because I built that connection for many decades. And she chose me, the vessel, to come through. So how we deal with it is different. And some people like, oh, you're just supposed to bounce back. No, you don't bounce back like that. Yes, it is a transition, but sometimes you got to grieve. Sometimes you got to cry. Sometimes you got to scream. It's different parts. Don't have high expectations. And then I've had people, well, I know what it's like. No, did you lose a child? And they tell me no. Then you don't know what it's like. You can put yourself in the place and say, but unless you've been in that position, you don't know. I don't know what it's like to lose a mate. I don't know what it's like to lose that person I slept with for 30, 45 years or 50 years. I don't know what that's like. And that in itself, yes, I can be spiritual, but it's a transition. But how we deal with it is different and how people look at it. So in that way, that could be a bad thing about being awoke and spiritually inclined.
Well, because people always want you to be on.
Huh?
People always want you to be on. They think you're always going to be on, like an on switch.
Yeah.
And they'll ask you a question. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What about this? What about that? People, we're not fucking machines. We're humans. We are humans. We feel, we bleed, we suffer, we cry. Just because we may act like we don't act as emotional as you do, doesn't mean that we're not emotional. We are. But we're emotional to ourselves. And yes, I agree with you. I remember when Lacey crossed over, and I remember talking to you when someone wanted you to help them and you were mourning. And I remember you called me and you were talking about it. You were angry, you were crying, and you were upset. What did I tell you? I told you, I said, fuck them. You don't need to help them. Let them go. Cut the ties. Because you know what? If they don't understand that you're grieving, because if they're grieving, they won't want you to push them anyway. That's the thing. People expect things of us that they would not. And I mean us, meaning awakened person in the world that's awakened, that's spiritual, that connects, that helps other people, that you do things for them, acts of service, like nurses and people like that, that help you. You need to stop being doormats. You need to stop being doormats for people who expect these things from you. Just because they give you $50, can you sit in the room with my mom for a few hours, a couple of hours? I'll give you $50, and then you take 5 hours. You have no consideration, and then the person takes the money. Well, I need the money, honey. Not all money is good money. And when you are in charge of someone, parents, children, animals, if you cannot take care of them, don't have them in your house. Don't. If you have a parent that's elderly and you can't take care of them, put her in a convalescent home. Put her somewhere where you can go visit her every day, or you can pay someone to take really good care of them. But don't bring them into your hell and expect people to feel sorry for you because you decided that you want to collect your mother or your father's check. And then you're going to say, oh, well, my mother is home and it's so rough for me. And I've been going through so many things. So people can say, well, if you need help, I'll can sit in for you. And of course, they're going to take advantage of that real quick because they always do. You know that they do. But like you said, love, people don't understand that being awakened is not as simple. The government deems us as being evil people, that we're awake. The black people are awake. The brown people are awake. Yeah, we're fucking awake because we're not stupid. Because we see the shit that you've been trying to do, and you're not trying to brighten up the place. You're trying to whiten up the place. And the reality is it didn't work before and it's not going to work now. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're shipping all these people from South Africa, these white people from South Africa into this country, it's not going to matter because there are too many black, brown, Hispanic, different types of people of color from different countries. You can't change that. You know what I'm saying? It's already in the crayon box. You cannot change the crayon box now. Okay? You cannot. So at the end of the day, being awakened is not about color, even though the government makes it about color. That we, Hispanics and blacks, we feel that way. So therefore, we're awake. But I mean, the crayon doesn't have, the box of crayon didn't have one candle. White candles didn't come into production until many years. The first color candles were not white.
They were black.
Black and the color of wax.
Oh.
Dirty wax, brown. Yep. So they weren't white. So my thing is, it's not about race. It's about spirituality. Awaken doesn't mean that we are political or politically correct. It means that we are spiritually correct. That we are waking up. That we are doing what our ancestors wanted. We are buying property. We are planting things. We are eating fruits from our gardens. We're eating better. We're taking care of each other. We are combining our strength to become a village again.
What is the saying? It takes a whole village to raise one child.
Well, I know that I know when I was growing up as a kid, our neighbors always looked out for us. Just like you know. So at the end of the day, being awakened has its advantages, guys. Take advantage of it. Use it wisely. Embrace yourself. Love yourself every day. Stop having these stupid pity parties. Like when they ask you, well, how you doing? Oh, I'm okay. Bitch, if you were laying in the hospital, you would be bitching and complaining. But you're not. You got your health. You have your legs. You have your arms. You have all these feelings. You're doing well. Say, I'm blessed. See, I wore my shirt today. It says, blessed. Yes. So what I say to you all out there that listen to us, and we're so grateful that you do listen to us. Today we're not having meditation, but we're going to end this.
That's what I was thinking. I was like looking at the time.
No. We're not going to have meditation because you know what? Because this conversation is a good conversation about being awakened. Because people need to understand that when the government, I'm not going to say one person or the other, when the government says, well, there's too many woke, making fun, there's too many woke people, they don't know what they're talking about. What awaken for us means we are connecting back to our ancestors. We're going back to church. It doesn't matter if we believe or we don't believe. It was just a way that our ancestors connected to the church to bring us closer to what we know.
Mhm.
So young people are now going to church. A lot of minorities are going back to the church. A lot of people are doing stuff. And my thing is like, keep your head up and understand that it's not about judgment. So if you're going to go, like you said earlier, we don't judge. I don't judge other religions because I don't care enough to judge them. But I do say this: if you are whatever you are religiously and you're going to judge me, then you need to drop out of that church because it ain't doing you no good, because it ain't showing you what they're supposed to show you. I'd rather be in my church, which is my home, my temple, dealing with my people back there, and be happy. Okay? Do you want to end this, girl?
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
coming
you,
and
yeah,
having
thank you.
a great
Don't hang
conversation.
up because I want to talk to you.
Huh?
Don't hang up. I want to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, thank you. Oh, and by the
Okay.
way, guys, by the way, like I always say every week, if you have a topic that you want to talk about, please feel free. Now, I'm going to tell you this topic. Dr. D brought this to my attention a few weeks ago about spirituality and the fakes and the real, the people who read who are real, people who read that are fake, the people who use you, the people who try to, you know,
Oh, thank you.
try to
Thank you.
play these games with you to take your money. So
Mhm.
we will be talking about that next week. Please tune in and have questions because we love questions. And
Yes.
thank you so much for enjoying this show, for being part of our show. And we will see you next week, same time, same channel.
Yes. So if you're not a member, please subscribe. If you like the content, please subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when we're on. So we do different shows on here. Coffee on Read is every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 963B for you. And also, let's see, am I there? Also, we have another channel, Dreams, and the number 2, Reality Ranch Farm, is another channel where we have different things that we talk about farming to get you self sufficient and making the land heal for you. That is what the mission is for Dreams to Reality Ranch, land into healing. Your land is into healing. That's about it. So our mission is basically that, and we have the guests from different venues, from herbalists to uh, foragers and emergency preparation, which we did. And I want to do another show on that, being prepared, because we are hitting hurricane season, and Guam has had another typhoon, and it's another one. And Retidian got hit real bad. They just had to electric out, but Retidian lost some houses. And
Who?
that's the island. Retidian. It's a little island right there next to Guam. Saipan. It's Saipan and Retidian. So they got hit really bad. So we're grateful. Um, some of I want to say my Hanai family was without water. Some were without electric. All depends. So this is something dear that I want to talk about for that, for us to be prepared here, because we got hurricanes, we got tornadoes, we got floods. You need to be prepared. And the things you need to do, we don't even know. Do you even know your evacuation route? I was looking at that as I was driving today. Do you know how to get in touch with anybody if your cell phone doesn't work? That's a question.
No,
How would you contact?
no.
What would you do? So they were like, "What?" I was like, "Nobody knows about CBs. Nobody knows about the hand walkie-talkie." I grew up. My daddy had a CB. His name is the Green Eyed Master. He'd be on there talking and being up and down on the highway. So I grew up with that, and I thought everybody had a CB in their home, because even if
Well,
you're in the
I know TikTok sell these little ones, these little walkie talkies that
Mhm.
you can far like really far.
Some of them they say they're good, and then some of them they say it's trash. So you gotta really find out and really go some different places to find out if they really work. So, and the CB, it has to have a main station to actually work, or it can be in a vehicle, because that's what my daddy had, one in the house and he had one in his vehicle, and the vehicle was a van, and he had an antenna. So I grew up with this, not realizing that my daddy was always prepping and doing all kinds of weird stuff. That's why I am the way I am today. But I'm just saying that is something, if y'all would like to talk about, come on, let's bring it, because this is the season. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful night. Be blessed, and know that I won't say be blessed, I'll say be bliss, because be and less, and I is nothing about me being less. I am always blissful. I am blissful. So
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to
Listen,
say, you be in bliss. Good night, y'all.
good night, everyone. See you next week.